I just completed my freshman year at college, and I wanted to share the one tip that really helped me. And no, it isn't to go to office hours or don't skip class, but definitely do those too. But the thing that saved me was podcasts. Now, I know if it sounds a little strange, but let me explain. When I first entered college, I was stressed out. I was the kid who loved studying in high school. So going into college, I thought of course I should go pre-med. Lots of studying, it's a great job, and pleases the Asian parents. No pressure at all. This is totally what I want to do. Yeah, no. And the beginning of college felt so scary to me because of the amount of choices you have. It's up to you to pick your major, your classes, your schedule, and ultimately, your future. August was a spiral of class registration concerns. Should I focus on pre-med classes? What if it's not really my passion? Should I explore their majors, minors, focus on general education class? And while I was teetering on the edge of what felt like the end of the world, I stumbled onto a little tiny unpopular movie called, K-pop Demon Hunters. And hear me out. I know I'm not the primary target audience, but the art and animation of the movie was so good, and my Instagram feed found out. I started admiring so many incredible artists online, and naturally, I started to wonder, what did those artists major in? A couple Google searches in, and I found that while a lot of them went to art school, some of them didn't and pivoted after college. Now, looking back, I'm not sure if I want to work in the animation industry, but this was just the start of me entering college, finding people who inspire me, and just digging for their stories, mostly through the forms of interviews and podcasts. Now, when I say finding people, who specifically? Well, I would suggest literally anyone and everyone you have a remote interest in. Be a stalker. Do you have any favorite YouTubers? Find a Q&A of them online. Do you have a favorite comedian or actor? Watch or read any interview. My podcast addiction became so bad that when my friend recommended a book to me, I listened to like 4 hours worth of author interviews, and I was only like 2 pages into the recommended book. And I know this makes me sound a little crazy, and maybe it is a little weird, but by doing this, I found out about people find careers that they are passionate about. And what I've learned is that some people pivot, take gap years, take unconventional pathways, and explore way outside of college. Here are a few examples. I'm a big fan of John and Hank Green. If you don't know them, they are YouTubers, authors, organize charities and nonprofits, and just do a whole bunch of stuff. You would think with all that range that they studied communication or something, but no. John majored in theology and almost went to divinity school, while Hank majored in biochemistry and did a master's in environmental science. And at that point, YouTube didn't even exist while they were in college. I just recently got interested in this beautiful watercolor artist in Japan, but I learned she used to be a Google UX designer for 12 years and started to pick up art during her job and then pivoted to art full-time. I met an artist who started working at their own creative studio after pursuing engineering for a couple of years. Now, I know all these examples are leaning to the artsy and creative industry because I'm very biased, but I've also met family friends who wanted to pivot into medicine after graduating or decided to go to grad school after working for a couple years. Also, if there is someone you watch or read who isn't in an industry that you are particularly interested in career-wise, that's even more reason to learn about them. I listened to an entire podcast on Simu Liu for no reason. I've only watched 2 Marvel movies, but I did learn that he studied accounting, got fired from his job, and then started picking up acting, which was a major struggle to pursue coming from an immigrant household. And listen, I know this sounds weird and stalkerish, and don't try to actually dox people, but just a simple Google search or two really gives you a good gist of the origin stories of people you admire, the lessons on what they picked up, and this was genuinely so helpful for me. College is great. It's a time to learn to be independent and meet new people, but school can still feel like a bubble. Sometimes it feels like people have a set idea of what they want to do, or a major they want to pursue, and it feels like you have to do the same. It feels like the major you choose is the end of it all, and that if you don't get the internship or don't get into a club, you're the failure. But there's so much world and time outside of college, and life is just messy and weird. In college, while it's this great 4 years to really explore your passion and understand your values, it's truly not everything. Now, this idea is really hard to internalize. I mean, it's the equivalent of someone saying, "Don't worry, everything will work out in time," and that's why I recommend you personally be a stalker too. and get hard evidence proof that a lot of the people you admire didn't have linear pathways. Also, this isn't to just say that you should just glide through university. You still need to have some sort of goal on where you want to be and gain the skills to get to where you want to be, whether you pick that up in uni classes, in extracurriculars, or just outside of it. On the topic of college and being a stalker, great two topics. If there are people in your class who are doing unconventional things, talk to them. Literally burn them down with questions. I had a senior in my basic math class wanting to go pre-med after finishing a classics major. I met someone pursuing art law and learned about patents and copyright for art. I met someone planning to leave school and move to a different country. Talking to people who are doing things in a more odd and unconventional manner expands your world, and you learn about pathways and industries that you may have not known. I ended up doing all these things as a very anxious, initially pre-med student. Here are two things I ended up learning from my podcast addiction. One is to get rid of the 4-year ticking time bomb, because what you decide your major to be does not have to be that career. And two, it's okay to be uncertain. In fact, it's better to be, because you let yourself be open to pivoting and failing, and it takes away this pressure in your head that your career is going to be in a perfect direction. I know I'm sounding incredibly optimistic in this video, but honestly, in this job market, it's good to be a little delusional. And as someone who's stressed about every single assignment in high school and threw a mental fit before all the debate and science Olympiad tournaments, there's this feeling of relief. But the grades you get in college, the major you pursue, none of it really dictates your immediate career, which is a fantastic feeling if you happen to feel overwhelming pressure from your strict Asian parents. All of this to say, if you are entering college, don't overstress. Enjoy your first year and go be a stalker. But not the real one, the one that learns what people do.